What's up, Raiders? TristenWulf here, and I am bringing you another Raid Shadow Legends video about a specific unit that everybody can get. This unit is practically free. It is probably one of the most unlikely heroes this game has ever had. It's not a legendary, it's not an epic, it's not even a rare. We're talking about an uncommon hero. That's right, a green hero, but don't let the color of his level fool you. This guy is broken for the new game. And once again, for those of you who are just starting out, make sure you're starting out using a promo code. When you use a promo code, mine or anybody's really, you will get to start out with special heroes that make the game so much easier to play, so much more fun to play. So make sure you use a promo code like the one linked in the description of this video, or you can scan that QR code up there. That will work too. If you use my code, you get to start out with the legendary hero Eleneral. Eleneral is a legendary hero who has probably one of the strongest A1 skills in the game. She has got an HP burn that cannot be resisted. You don't even need to put accuracy on her to have this skill hit. It just sticks. And an HP burn does damage based on the enemy's health, so you can do tremendous damage to people with this skill, and this will let you punch way above your weight class and get into boss fights that you have no business being in just because you have this hero. She also drops 5% poison debuffs. That's the bigger poison, the stronger poison for 2 turns. Again, damage based on the enemy's health. And on top of all of that, her A3 skill will let you detonate poisons. So she has great synergy with other heroes that can stack poisons. So you can stack a whole bunch of poisons and nuke enemies. This is especially good for enemies that have thresholds, because if you poison nuke across a threshold, it oftentimes doesn't trigger the threshold. And there are other enemies where you have to do a certain amount of damage or they attack you back, like the dragon. So she's great for all of that. So you get her day one just by using the link in the description. And on top of it, once you get to rank 15, which will only take you about an hour of gameplays, you will be able to pick up Rector Drath for free. Now don't let her charming good looks and demure expressions fool you. She is hardcore. Rector Drath is a epic hero, but she's really a legendary hero's kit wrapped up in an epic hero's build. She has got a heal skill that will heal your entire team by 20% of her health. So you can stack health on her and make her one of the strongest healers in the game. On top of it, she'll either put Perfect Veil, which stealths your whole team, or Continuous Heal, a regeneration buff, depending on their HP status, which one needs it the most. She also has a full revive. She'll bring a unit back from the dead with 60% health and hide them underneath Perfect Veil at the same time. And well, when you unlock her passive, she will continually heal targets that are under Perfect Veil. So even though she's only bringing the unit back at 60% of its health, it's going to be able to continue to heal itself underneath the Perfect Veil. So fan-freaking-tastic hero. That gives you a strong bossing hero as well as a healing support hero. And then you can round it all off by using one of the promo codes in the description of this video. With those promo codes, you will be able to pick up Supreme Galek for DPS. You'll be able to pick up Wukong if you want to get into PvP. You can pick up Alice the Wanderer. A little bit harder to build, a little bit longer, a little bit more work to get her up to speed, but once she's there, crazy strong unit. You'll be able to pick up Loki. You'll be able to pick up Sigmund the Highshield. There's so many heroes that you can get from the promo codes, and this will start you out with 2 legendary heroes and 1 epic hero on day 1. It's a fantastic start for Raid, so make sure you're using a promo code when you start this game. If you didn't use a promo code, just stop. Log out, go use the link to re-download the game and install with a new account and make it the best start you can have for Raid. Now let's talk about this magic boy. The guy we're going to be talking about today is Armager. Armager is an uncommon defense type hero. He is one of maybe 2 or 3 uncommon heroes that are actually worth having in this game, and oh my god, everybody should have this unit. Actually, might want to consider having multiples of this unit. He is that good. You will use this guy early game, mid game, late game, end game. He is used throughout your entire time in Raid. and he is so easy to build because he's an uncommon hero. Let's start first by talking about his skills, because there's only 2 of them. It's that simple. Makes him really cheap to book too. You only have 2 skills to book up. His number 1 skill is just a little bit of damage when you book it, but it attacks 1 enemy and it decreases their turn meter by 30% if the attack is a critical. So you want to make sure you gear him to have 100% crit, and then every time he hits, 1/3 of the enemy's turn meter goes away, allowing you to lock an enemy out of using its skills if you build this guy pretty fast. The next is his A2 skill, which attacks 1 enemy, and if he kills that enemy cannot be revived. Crazy good for use in fights where the enemy is constantly reviving. Ice Golem, anyone? Everybody fight the Ice Golem, get annoyed that he keeps bringing back those ads. You have to keep... Well, if you have Armager make the kill, they don't come back to life. And his damage is based on defense and the enemy's max HP, which makes him so good fighting the big bosses that have a huge HP pool. It makes him hit harder than a lot of legendary heroes. And here's the best part. If you book him out and get the skill cooldown, it is a 2-turn skill, meaning every other turn he can drop this nuke that stops revive. He can go nuke, roll down their turn meter, nuke, roll down their turn meter, back and forth, back and forth. Oh my God. Let me get into how I've got this guy built, then we'll talk about masteries, then I'll show off where he can be used. First, I put him on a perception set. Perception set is just too good, giving him accuracy and speed, the 2 things he wants the most. You want to make sure his accuracy is as high as possible. A good rule of thumb is whatever level you're fighting, multiply that by 10 to 12, and that's the amount of accuracy you want to have on your unit. So if you want to fight, say, Dragon level 10, you'd want to have 100 to 120 accuracy. If you want to fight Dragon 20, you'd want to have 200 to 225 accuracy, somewhere in that range. That will help make sure that you lock it down. I've got 300 accuracy roughly, 285 accuracy on mine, so I can't quite go for some of the serious fights, but I can get pretty deep with this. Still got some work to do on him. I'm new. Cut me some slack. The big reason you'd want to 6-star him, get him to level 60, is he is an uncommon unit. So his bulk kinda bad. Even with all his gear on, he's only got 20k health and 1400 defense, and that's, you know, he's actually built pretty bulky, all things considered. So eventually you'll want to 6-star him, but you don't need to right away. He should not be your first 6-star, or even your second, or even your third 6-star. We're talking like this guy should maybe be your like 5th or 6th 6-star. Because early game, he's going to work just fine at level 50. Mine is level 50, and where I need him to work, he works great. Especially if you pair him with, you know, Rector Drath to bring him back to life if things happen to go a little bit sideways and he takes a dirt nap. As for his masteries, this is how I built him. Now, there's a couple of different ways to build him, but this is the tree that I liked. When I get him to 6-star, I will eventually pick up War Master, because this has a 60% chance of inflicting even more HP scaling damage to combine with his existing HP damage. So I think it'll let him hit like a nuke. There's good skills to look for, like the Evil Eye skill to give an additional turn meter reduction when you hit him with single target skills, and that's all Armager does. And of course, supporting skills like boosts to crit chance and a little bit of life steal, and the ability to, when you have hurt the target below 40% health, you start doing additional damage as nukes hitting even harder. So, you know, like I always say with the mastery trees, don't just copy what you see somebody else did. Look at the skills, see what they do, and think, how would this help my unit? All masteries are the same. Unit to unit. They all have access to the same masteries. So look at them and think, what would this do for the unit that I'm building? It will make it so that you will be better at figuring out your own masteries down the road. So you'll be less reliant at looking at what other people are doing and more on figuring it out for yourself. All right, so let's talk about where this guy is used. We can check out the reviews tab and check it out. In Spider Den, he is crazy good, especially if you're going to run Supreme Galek and put burns on the entire team and then have somebody else put a slow debuff on the spider. You can have Armiger just constantly knocking the spiders turn meter bar down and letting the little spiders burn the big spider to death. It's actually pretty hilarious. So yeah, I agree. I think he's a 5 out of 5 there. In the Fire Knight's castle, now you might think, why would I take him in the Fire Knight's castle? He's only got single hitter skills. You need to hit multiple times, knock open that shield. Well, here's the thing. When you knock open that shield, you can get a slow debuff on there and then have Armager just sit on him so he doesn't ever get to close the shield back up, and the rest of your team can rip the Fire Knight apart. Hard 5 out of 5 for the Fire Knight's castle. Ice Golem Peak. Oh my god. Not only can you knock the turn down on the Ice Golem, you can prevent the Ice Golem from raising his minions back to life by using his S3 to kill the minions and blocking raise. So right out of the gate, 3 heavy farming areas where Armager shines. Now, yeah, he's not very good against the Demon Lord, sure, and faction wars, well, you know, I guess he's okay in his own faction. He sucks in arena. Spirit Keep, of course. Yeah, Spirit Keep is one where you want to be able to keep the boss from taking turns. So knocking down that turn meter and being able to drop nukes is huge. Iron Twins Fortress is a little bit weird. Iron Twins Fortress, you can't reduce the turn meter, so the A1 skill not so good there, but that boss has a metric buttload of health, and having a nuke hero that's cheap and easy to build in the Iron Fortress, this guy hits harder at level 50 than my fully awakened max sold Alice does. So yeah, I think people are underrating him for the Iron Twins Fortress. I think he's really good there. Dragon's Lair, same situation. Though you can't roll back the dragon's turn meter, this gives you a nuke that with just Armager at level 50, I'm able to knock that health requirement to make sure that the dragon can't blow fire on me. I'll show you that in just a minute. And yeah, he can be used in Minotaur as well. Force Keep, exact same situation. And Force Keep is Spirit Keep. I'm surprised that they're not both 5-star. I'm giving them a 5-star there. And that's about it, right? Let me show you how a few of these fights go. Here we are using them in the Iron Twins Fortress. I want you guys to check out how hard Armager hits here when he takes the turn. So I got my Alice here. She's going to smack and see how much health she did. You know, she knocked it down just a little bit. Now watch Argamer's A2 skill. Watch ours. Bam! 1 hit. That was from a level 50 support unit, defense scaling unit, compared to a max sold Alice the Wanderer at level 60. He hit that heckin' hard. Now let's see how my boy does here in the Ice Golem fight. So in the Ice Golem fight, let's see. I see that Ice Golem, see that turn meter bar? Bam! Totally reset that turn meter bar. Because I had the Mastery set up, I got even more than 30% on that hit. Locking him down, keeping him from bringing his friends back. Unfortunately, that guy's going to drop, so Armager can't kill it. But if I had been a little bit more careful, instead of having Rector Draft kill that ad, I could have had Armager kill it, and then that little ad, that little support guy, he could never come back. And that just makes this fight even easier when you've got permadeath on those 2 units. Now here's the one where you may have thought, damn, Wolf, you're crazy. You can't use a 1-hitter against the Fire Knight when he's got a 10-hit shield on him. Well, check it out. All right, so we got him down to 8 hits, 7 hits. This will be 2 hits, 6, 5 hits. And we'll get 4 hits. This guy is a 3-hitter, 3, 2, 1 hit. So this next hit's going to open it up. I'm going to have Armager use his A1 skill. Watch that turn meter bar when we open the shield. Bam! Turn meter bar is reduced. And now we have got him. Now we've got him good. We got a defense break on there. If you've got anybody that can deliver a slow debuff, which I do, let's see if we can get a slow debuff on this guy. I'll have Geomancer reset his skills. And watch how hard this hits. I don't need to reduce his meter. I'm just going to hit him hard. Look at that nuke from Armager. Look how much damage that did. Now we'll get a slow debuff on. We didn't stick the slow. Okay, well, just hit him with this. Here's the other thing about Armager too. you can take multiples of them. You could take 2 Armiger with you and totally lock out the enemy skill. That might not be so easy in Fire Knight, but you could do it in a lot of the other fights. Let's see here. Oh, that's too much turn meter. Let's get rid of that turn meter. It is so good. He is such a solid hero. This is a level 50 hero. And now I got the slow debuff, and he's done for. Now let's see what we can do versus a dragon. All right, guys, that is a pretty thick bar. Alice did a little, you know, 3 or 4 ticks there. I think we actually healed the dragon on that hit. Let's heal up here. Now watch how much damage Armager does compared to what Alice just did. Bam! Almost 4 times the damage of Alice. Level 50 armor, 4 times the damage compared to, well, this is through defense break, so her big nuke into a defense break did almost the same damage. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if we can get out of one of the dragons rearing up, getting ready to breathe fire on us. Let's see if Armager can take it out there. Now, unfortunately, you can't roll back the dragon's turn meter. Armager is just here as a nuker. And, man, you need nukers big time, right? You're like me. You're not super high level. Ooh, Armager got hurt there. Make sure you bring so we can cleanse debuffs and heal. You got Rector Drath as a safety net. Okay, look at that bar. Look at the size of that bar, right? Look what little Alice did to it. Now let's compare that to what Armager does. Show me what you got, Armager. Bam! Drop that whole bar all in one hit. Level 50, guys. He'll be even more impressive at level 60 because you won't have to rely on your healers to bring him back from the edge of death. He won't be a fragile little flower, but really, I can't stress it enough, guys. Build Armager. He is going to be so good for your account, early, mid, and late game. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care, everybody.